Hey, hey, hey. Good day, everybody. Welcome to Sip with Rev Melissa. It is good to be back. It is good to be back. Did y'all enjoy last week's throwback of the spiritual partnership series? I thought it was awesome. And I was like, oh, yes. Like, it was so funny to look at myself in the other studio, right? Everything was so different. Everything was so different. And then I just had to keep reminding myself, like, that was just last year. That was just last year, y'all. That was like May of last year that I did the spiritual partnership series. So we're still rolling. We're still rolling. Things are shifting, as you can see, because today's show is pre-recorded. And, I'm just figuring out some things. So you're just hanging there with me. I appreciate the comments, even when it's pre recorded. It matters. It all matters. So I hope everyone is doing well. It's good to see you all. Yes, it is. And I hope everyone had a good weekend. So last week I was on location. Sekou was holding it down for me, doing the doing the commentary for last week in conjunction with the spiritual partnership series. And I was in Portland, Oregon. Specifically, I was in Eagle Creek, Oregon for a retreat it was called the Living Your Life's Purpose retreat. And it's part of the process of becoming certified in the co-creation process, which is something that I am in the process of doing. And it was magnificent. It was an incredible experience, especially being amongst the trees. I've never seen trees like these trees. They were just like singing to me every day, beckoning me to come out and just be amongst them. And I have a picture to show you a little later on when we do some. Oh, there we go. Go ahead, producer. There I am. There I am in the woods with the trees, loving on the trees, and the trees was loving on me. It was just wonderful. And that picture doesn't do the trees justice, because the trees are majestic and a lot of them are like wrapped in this moss, just completely covered. And the moss is everywhere. Like the moss covers the buildings, it's everywhere. It's just extraordinary. So shout out to Oregon and shout out to everyone that participated in this wonderful experience. And so, of course, while I was there, I was thinking about you all. I was thinking about you all. I was thinking about SIP. I was thinking about life. I was just, all these things were coming up for me as I was out there amongst the trees and amongst other people who are on their life's journey, right? And I did a run. I did like a walk jog in the forest. And the trail that I went on was called Deep Creek, right? And it was it was deep, y'all. It was a deep creek. I made it to the creek. You have to go deep to get to the creek. And so I tried it one day. I didn't make it because I didn't realize how deep it was. And then okay, let me get my mind right. And then I was able to do it the next time I went out. And I did a 5K all the way around in this forest with myself, with the trees, and it was amazing. It was amazing. And so something kept coming up for me, and that's what we're going to be exploring this week for SIP. And so what kept coming up for me was this notion of wholeness and integration, right? Wholeness and integration, because part of the process there was to create your own sacred covenant. Right. And so I did a whole series on covenants and SIP. When did I do it? I did it April of this year. So April of this year, April 26th, that whole week, we did the covenant series. And so then I had this experience of creating my own covenant coming out of this retreat. And Rockland CSL, where I'm the spiritual director, also had a covenant that it created for its new minister, which manifested as moi, as me, right? Being the part-time minister there. And so, but I was thinking about, okay, things come up in our lives, right? Opportunities, just things come up. And how do we decide if it's a part of our wholeness? How do we decide if it's a part of our wholeness? So I started looking at the word integral, right? Integral. And this is what it means: consisting or composed of parts that together constitute a whole, right? The parts that constitute the whole, right? So that's what I'm exploring within myself this week. And that's really what's got stirred up for me in the forest, because I'm looking at the trees, right? And these trees are gigantic, and there's parts to the tree, right? There's the trunk, there's the roots, there's the branches, there's the leaves, there's some of them, there's the moss, there's all these different parts of the trees that make it this whole magnificent being that it is, right? And the same thing with us, right? We have different parts of ourselves that, when they come together, make the whole of who we are, right? So think about your life, right? Think about the different aspects of your life, right? All the parts, right? All those pieces, right? When you put them together, do they create a whole for you? Or does it create something else? Something that doesn't quite fit into the whole. That's what I'm exploring for myself. So if anyone else is exploring this for themselves, you're in good company. We're in good company with each other. So while I was on this retreat, I was there as I was in facilitator mode for sure. And I was also in participant mode, right? And one of the things that we did was we got in touch with a quality of God. And so we do this on SIP all the time, right? Everyone selected, chose their quality of God the beginning of the year, right? And at some point this week, we will do a roll call. We will do a roll call because we haven't done one in a long time. And so you all know that my quality of God is what? Joy, right? So we did this exercise, a meditation, to connect with our quality of God. So immediately I said, okay, I'm going to release joy. I'm going to let it go and see if some other quality wants to make itself known, right? I said, I'm going to unattach myself to joy just to see, right? And so part of the meditation that the person led us through was like we was at this pond, and at the pond there were these signs that were posted all over the place. And then you looked at the poster to see what word was there for you, right? So I think there were like 3 or 4 signs, right? Every single sign for me had joy on it. Joy, 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 joy. And I was like, wait. I said, I'm going to release any attachment I have to joy being my word. Okay? And then I went back in. There was one sign. She kept saying, like, there's many signs, but then I just saw one sign. And I walked over to the sign. I turned to look at the sign. And on the sign was what word, y'all? Joy. What's the girl to do? Right? I said, well, okay. Clearly, this is my word. So then I was like, okay, Spirit, if this is my word, still is my word, what am I to do with it? Right? And so it was when I went on the walk and the jog in the park, in the forest, and I was on Deep Creek, that it came to me, right? to take it deeper. It's time to take a deeper dive with joy, right? I said, okay, I can do that. I say yes. I say yes to taking a deeper dive with joy and as joy, right? And so one of the things that I was led to do was to explore the word joy more. And this is what I found. So I found this Bible verse, and this is what it says. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, forbearance, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. So joy is one of the fruits of spirit, right? It's one of the fruits of spirit. So it's one of the fruits of spirit as me, right? As me. Yes. And for me, it's a really important ingredient in the parts of me that make up the wholeness of who I am. Just like for you, whatever your quality of God is, it's an important ingredient. So, like, if that ingredient was missing, wholeness will be missing for you. It would feel like something is amiss, something is off, right? You might have like an unsettling feeling. Yes? So joy is a really important component, right? For me. So just think about what your quality of God is. For Sekou, it's abundance. For Pamela, it's bliss, connection, kindness, love, compassion, allowance, all the qualities of God that we've been working on for this whole year. What if it was not there? All of a sudden, it just disappeared. How would you feel? How do you think you would feel? Right? You would probably feel like something is off, right? Like there's a disturbance in the force. Yes? So joy and whatever your quality of God is integral. It's integral. It is consisting or composed of parts that together constitute a whole. So that's what I'm exploring. That's what we're going to explore this week, right? Are all the parts, are all the components in your life consisting of the whole, constitute the whole? What do you do when it does? And what do you do when it doesn't? So I'm going to tell you one thing you don't do when it doesn't. You do not beat yourself up about it. You do not beat yourself up about it, right? Because all it is information. All it is information. It could feel like it's missing, right? It could feel like it's missing, but it's not, right? And sometimes we just have to go on this path to reconnect with it again. Yes? To make sure that main ingredient, you got to have that main ingredient, which is your quality, has to be in order for you to feel the wholeness. In order to feel the wholeness. All right? All right, y'all. So this week's series is integral. Think about your quality of God, your quality of spirit that you affirmed for yourself in January or along the way. And if you don't have one right now, as you're listening to this, then choose one now, right? Whatever just came into your mind, that is your quality of God, your quality of spirit. All right? And just check in. Just check in. Do an inventory. Do all of these components of my life consist of this ingredient? So that all the parts, right? all the parts. I just saw a visual, right? So let's say Rockland CSL, let's say that. So Rockland CSL, where I am the spiritual director, does that have a component of joy for me? Right? Yes or no? Yes. Right? And so we could look at every aspect of our lives. My relationship, does that have a component of joy for me? We just did the replay of spiritual partnership, right? Does my relationship have the component of joy, the ingredient, as the main ingredient, joy for me? Yes, right? Does my finances have a component of joy? Does it consist of joy for me? Right? Now, what if that one was a no? Not so much. What I feel about my finances are fear, lack, limitation. I don't have enough. Right? So that would be an indication of something that I need to explore within myself. Not in my bank account, but within myself. If joy wasn't present in my relationship, where would I explore that? Within myself, right? So that's what we're going to unpack. Because we like to hang out when all the answers are yes. But when we bump up against a no, what we going to do? What we going to do with that? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to explore both components, leaning a little bit more towards the side of when it's a no. How do we integrate? How do we make it an integral part of the wholeness? Yes? All right, y'all. So I am Rev Melissa. I am an ordained interfaith minister. I'm a licensed religious science practitioner. I am a purpose coach, and I am the spiritual director of Rockland Center Spiritual Living. And that is my ministry of joy. All of those parts are integral in my recipe. That is my life, my living life in joy. So if you need support, in any aspect of your life, please reach out to me. You could DM me and we could set up some time to talk. All right? All right, y'all. It's time to get into some joy news. Let's get into some joy news. All right. So it's been quite a week or so. I talked about the retreat. I'll talk more about it during the week. Saturday. So this is what happened, y'all. So all last week I was away, got back late, really late Friday night. And then Saturday I did a wedding, right? So I officiated a wedding. It was beautiful. Shout out to Terry and Kiana. Blessings to you for your wedding and for your marriage and for your lives together, right? So I did that. And weddings, right? Does officiating weddings have the component, the ingredient of joy in it for me? Yes. Yes, it does. I love officiating weddings. So if you know someone who's getting married, or if you're getting married, hey, I would love to officiate your wedding. So then Sunday, y'all, I was exhausted. I was tired. Oh my goodness, I was tired. And I have to tell you, I laid in the bed all day yesterday. Yes, I did. And so who held things down for me? My boy, Sekou Wrights, held it down. He was the guest host for Living Life in Joy. And he had a wonderful guest, Fee King. So if you missed yesterday, there she is being interviewed about what she does. And she does a lot. She is a trainer. She is a motivational speaker. She is an author. She does a lot of things. She has a one-woman show that she will be reviving and traveling with again. So she does a lot, y'all. So please check out yesterday's Living Life in Joy with Sekou and Fee King. And that wrapped up our September theme of love. That wrapped it up. So we're starting October. next Sunday with a very special guest. Her name is Lisa Kofi. And I just want to shout out Lindsay for connecting us. I really appreciate that. So Lisa is an author, singer, songwriter. She just released a 2-album CD, so 2-album, well, what? I'm not saying it right. Anyway, it's 2 albums, right? She released 2 albums, and it is a rock opera. A rock opera. She ain't playing. And it's based on a sacred text. So she's going to share all of that on Sunday, 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. So please join me for that on Sunday. And then at 11:30 a.m., we keep going, y'all. We keep going with Rockland CSL, where I am the spiritual director. And so join me for our Sunday service celebration. All of this, right? All of this in the wholeness. All of this in the wholeness of joy for me. All right. And then we have our meditation with the moon coming up. So I'll let you know the date of that because I didn't write it down. Now I can't remember. But we got our next meditation with the moon coming up. But what I do know is it's going to be at 11 o'clock p.m. because we did the last one at 11 p.m. and it was great. It was great. So we're going to continue to do that until we don't. So the next meditation with the moon, it is at 11 p.m. Okay. All right. So let me check in with Sekou, see how he's doing. Say thank you for holding me down.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate the faith in me to hold it down. It was great. And the faith in myself, because it evolved over the week, right? Because I was like, oh, this is different. Showing these videos and talking about these videos. But what happened every time is I'd play the video and I'd be like, I was watching it like I'd never seen it before. I was like, how is that happening? And then I would be taking notes, and then invariably I have something to say at the end of the show. So that was great. That was great. And also about today's episode, I think that's a really interesting way of looking at it. Pieces of a pie, and does your quality inhabit all those slices of pie? And I think for me, like for you couldn't get away from joy. You tried to move away from joy, and it was everywhere, right? I think for me, abundance is aspirational. Mm-hmm. Abundance is what I'm reaching for. And so it's going to be interesting to see how it shows up in the various pieces of my pie, because I do a lot of things too. So and like trying to make sure that it inhabits the slices of the pie might actually change the pie for me.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting to see. So it's going to be an interesting week.
Yes, it is. And you made a really good point. It might change the pie.
It might change the pie.
Yes. All right. So come on, y'all. We're going to do this work together. It's going to be wonderful. Sit with your quality and just start to see. Unpack and then pack it again. Okay? That's what we're doing. All right, y'all. So I will see you tomorrow. Living life in joy, peace, living life in joy, connected to your yes, right? Peace and blessings, peace and justice. We're living life in joy, connected to our yes.